What's up, everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Hoops Betting Hour. It is Friday, March 26, 2021. Hope you're all having a great day wherever you are. I'm the big man on campus. He's Ski Prophet. We are here again breaking down the NBA card here on a Friday, a busy Friday after the trade deadline. We are powered by PicksWise and presented by FanDuel. Hope you're all having a great day. Let's get into it, Ski. First, I got to ask, how you doing today? What's going on?
I'm a little more tired than usual. It's the end of the week, so I guess that's how it is.
I feel you on that. I'm kind of tired myself, but we're here bright and early. I got my coffee ready. I'm sure other people do as well. It's NBA time. And, Ski, the NBA never sleeps, as they say. Had games late into the night last night. Sixers, Lakers. Stayed under by just a little bit. Just a little. Got it just at the final number. By the way, I got to ask you, because I know you watched the game. You got to admit, that was one of the weakest ejections in the history of ejections from Dwight Howard.
You know, it was, but I was crying, laughing. Like, I loved every second of it.
It's funny, for sure. But
I'm not a Montrez fan. I wanted to trade him before the deadline. So seeing that happen, I just was kind of laughing the whole time.
But it's like, if you're going to eject Howard, you got to eject Harrell as well. I mean, it was back. I mean, Harrell was the one that he was the one pushing.
Yeah, he was all embarrassed. That's what it was.
But if you watch the game, it was chippy. They were going literally every play. They're banging, doing their, into each other and stuff. So, yeah, it was definitely warranted, I think, at some point. But if you're going to do one, you gotta throw the other out as well. But welcome in. Thanks for everyone for joining us. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like the show if you're enjoying what you're seeing. What we do here. College basketball. We're back tomorrow with college basketball. Sweet 16. Donnie will return. We'll go over those cards. But today, it's all NBA. We'll hit every game. But we also want to talk about the trade deadline, which kind of interesting. Not real big, like not a ton of big moves, no real huge names. But there were some things that went on and some things that didn't go on, Ski, real quick. Couple early ones. The Magic are – I mean, they have no one left at this point. I mean, they went out and got some guys to come back in the trades, but Vucevic is gone, Fournier is gone, Aaron Gordon is gone. Did Terrence Ross get moved or no? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't.
He didn't end up getting moved. So, but again, three of their big guys are gone, all big losses. And Ski, I want to look at quickly in the last game that the Magic played. Remember, they beat the Suns, a game that we had the Suns in. But look at that game. Aaron Gordon scores 13, Vucevic 27, 48, 21. Al-Farouq Amino got traded as well. He had 6. You look at this roster, they're going to get those guys that got traded to probably play tonight, but they're going for a rebuild. But it seems like they've been in a quasi-rebuild for a while.
Yeah, it's the only team I can think of that they had was good was Dwight Howard, Turkoglu.
Yeah, a while ago, 10 years maybe.
Yeah, so it's kind of been this way for a while. You're right. I don't see any difference really. I mean, like you said, they're rebuilding, so it's a team I'm not going to be putting my money on really in the near future.
However, I do like them tonight. I'll just say.
Okay, we'll talk about
We'll
it.
Get to that a little bit. Kyle Lowry does not get moved. He ends up just staying in Toronto, which it was a bit surprising to me. I saw the Lakers threw their hat into the mix at one point. Miami was interested. And, the Philadelphia 76ers. And, look, I'm not going to go on a soapbox about it. I haven't liked the direction the Sixers have been in a long time. I think they needed a guy like Kyle Lowry to really put them over the top and to be a championship contender. Can they win a championship? I guess they could. Do I think they will? No. They're still not good enough to beat the Brooklyn Nets at the end of the day.
You're not excited for George Hill?
Yeah. Well, how could I not be? George Hill's played on like every team in the league. And it's funny because I heard someone on the radio yesterday call in and say, well, keep in mind, most of the championship contenders do go after George Hill, to compete. And it's like, well, okay. I mean, I get that, but I'd much rather have Shake Milton in the game at this point. I mean, Shake's legit,
Right. I'd much rather have him.
And I just think, they kind of try to, this fan base has become a lot different than it used to be. It's kind of just whatever they do is gold, and we're going to listen to it. Ski, I forget. When did Matisse Thybulle turn into like Scottie Pippen? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I'm seriously asking people. Like, so he's a good perimeter.
I do think they were
defender.
asking a lot from you guys, though. Honestly,
No, I know there was a lot asked, but I think they'd gotten to a point where it was like, okay, we'll take thought. Like, we want. I mean, I think they got desperate at some point, but I feel like Maxey and a couple picks and someone else could have probably gotten it done, but I don't know.
Raptors struck out because now Lowry's the free agent, I think, in the offseason.
Right. And then, yeah, right. So at that point, I guess we'll see what happens with him. Maybe he leaves in the summer, but yeah, another thing with like Daryl Morey. Did I also miss when Daryl Morey won anything? Like, why is Daryl Morey like, why do people act like he's like this god? Like, what did I miss?
I don't know. He doesn't win, but he's good at putting some people on the team. I don't say it's his fault that he didn't win, because if I really look at the Houston team, Harden plays good all season long, and then the playoffs come in, it's kind of a different Harden. So I'm not really going to blame Morey for that.
Give me Pat Riley any day of the week.
Yeah, I won't argue.
Pat Riley's the king, man. Couple other moves here, Ski. Victor Oladipo goes to the Heat. There must be something wrong with Oladipo because they gave up pretty much nothing to get him. You've got to figure that injury is a little worse than they're leading on.
I don't know. I just don't know what Houston's doing. I think they just didn't want him there, because now it looks like you really just who did they get for James Harden? Like nobody.
No one. They pretty much are going to suck. I mean, I think that's pretty much the goal in Houston now. Just suck and build up again, and build up again and probably trade those guys. I mean, Houston's never going to win it. They're not, they're just kind of in a holding pattern. They had their day in the sun recently. What else do we have?
The Nuggets.
Yeah, the Nuggets go out and get Aaron Gordon. I like that move. I mean, I think I thought Will Barton, is he ever going to play again? It seems like he
plays more than Gary Harris, so I guess they're all right there.
But it's like he had not played for a while. He didn't play last year much at all. Gary Harris had kind of struggled. He never really, he was a solid player, good defender, but you're willing to see him go. You kind of had that player alongside Jokic now.
I like Gordon for them. They needed like a bigger like forward to be able to guard some of these guys in the West, like to guard Kawhi, to guard LeBron.
Right.
They never had anybody. So I like the Gordon move over there.
And Gordon addresses that. Lou Williams goes to the Atlanta Hawks. Rondo to the Clippers. I like Lou Will. I had hopes in some way he'd come back to Philadelphia. I always liked Lou Will. He started his career here. And let's be honest. I mean, he's from Atlanta. And as we know from the offseason, Ski, he is a big fan of the wings down at
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Yes. So he's right at home, as they say. I like Lou. I always have. I think he's a great player. Good infusion off the bench. Atlanta continues to be really an interesting team, Ski, man. They have a real good base down there. I think long term they're going to be a continued interest back. But yes, he's going to be at the wing spot plenty. I got to get down there and check out those wings. I don't eat wings much, but I heard they're world class.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I haven't been to Magic City, but I'll definitely go there and definitely try some of those wings. They have to be good, right?
I mean,
people live in the bubble to go get them.
What an elite business model for men, wings and women. I mean, it's just it's not a crazy smart business idea, but it makes sense. Wings, alcohol, beautiful women, maybe a TV. Beautiful.
Everything's all good.
Yeah. It just seems like a great business model. So yeah, all in all, it wasn't a crazy heavy trade deadline. I mean, there was people moving around, but there were no big time moves or anything. Someone said Knicks flopped. With the game. Yeah, well, thanks. That was the one that we didn't have. Knicks were horrific in the first half, and then naturally won the game, of course.
Right.
But what are you gonna do? I guess picked them the wrong way. We should have bet them long for the full game instead. Did they cover the full game, right?
They covered.
Yeah, brutal. Someone says, get that fire going, Ski, in the background. Yeah, it's not real, by the way. Can we just spell that on Ski's final day this week on the show? Yes, the fire is not real. I don't know how his background looks so real, though. It's kind of crazy. Usually the background skier, like, you can kind of tell it's not real. How do you get it to look like that?
I got the exclusive, man. You got
Yeah,
it.
you got the high level like background.
Nah, I've seen this one over. Some other people have used it. I'm sure people
I
have
think
seen it
Whale
elsewhere.
Capper uses it.
Yeah, that's honestly probably where I saw it.
Yeah. I don't know how you get those, but I've never seen those backgrounds. So I'm
If you want me to be honest, like I just literally turned it on and picked the first background that I saw.
okay. It looks like a cool like house in like Aspen or something. You know.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's move on to the games today. We got a lot of games, so let's break them down. All in all, Ski, was there a winner or loser in the trade deadline? I mean,
Yeah, winners were Chicago Bulls, Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat, and losers were, in my opinion, the Boston Celtics. I don't even know why they got rid of Tice and for Mo Wagner. I don't
yeah,
really know what they're doing.
they hate bigs there. I mean, they don't.
Allergic.
Yeah, they don't like bigs. Cantor gone. Or no, Cantor's not gone. Who's gone? They got rid of Tice. Who else did they get rid of recently?
Any big they ever have.
Well, they had Cantor. I mean, that's the only one I remember recently.
Yeah, I can't really.
They got rid of somebody. I forget who it was, but yeah. Either way, I mean, and Toronto maybe because Lowry might be on the move in the summer, and
right,
he's a free agent. So, all right, let's get into the game. That's what people came here for. That's what people want to hear about, and that's what people want to talk about. We'll start out with obviously make sure if you're betting these games, make sure you head over to FanDuel right now. Look, there are very few places better than FanDuel. They got everything in one place. You got risk-free bets up to $1,000. And if you lose, it's reissued as site credit and no harm, no foul. So make sure on a busy Friday in the NBA, you got Sweet 16 tomorrow. Make sure you're checking out FanDuel. A lot going on over there. A lot to bet, a lot to jump into. Let's jump into it now. Brooklyn headed on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. Brooklyn 5.5. Total is off the board right now. No current number on this price. Obviously, the big question is, does James Harden play? Neck issue. They said some kind of like weird, I want to say it was like he may or may not play. It was, I forget what the description was, but we obviously want him in there. But either way, I'm leaning towards Detroit again. I mean, we backed them the other night. They came through. Normally a very good home dog. In fact, they've been a home dog this year. And just played the Nets recently and covered. And Harden played. Kyrie played. We continue to talk about the Pistons. They are not good from a straight-up record standpoint, but they cover games. I mean, that's just one thing they've done. They've got a good young team with some talent infusion there. But it really is always going to come down to Harden. And we got beat on the Nets the other night because we thought Harden would play. He always generally plays, and he didn't. What do you think here?
Well, like I said, I said I would wait till he proved me wrong, and he didn't play the last game. So I guess I'll wait and see today. But you're right. Detroit, I mean, versus better teams, like better competition, they tend to cover the spread. I have them as 10-2-1 versus 55% when teams are better. So I'm guessing they just get generous numbers and they're able to stay close enough. I look more towards the total. And I think I saw one earlier. I know you said you don't see one now, but it was kind of around the 225.5. We'll see where they reopen it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Nets, like I always say, they're a great three-point shooting team. They're top three. And Detroit, not really great defending the perimeter. I think the Nets will play a little bit more up-tempo. And I don't really see much defense from the Nets side, at least. So if I'm leaning more towards the Nets, I'll probably lean towards an over. And I like an over in this game. The number I have is more towards 227.
Yeah, I lean towards Detroit. I mean, I continue to back them in these kind of games. From what they said, Brooklyn, James Harden, not a guarantee for Friday versus Pistons. I mean, what does that mean? I guess he may or may not play. Sounds like a game time decision to me. Wham says Boston should have got Vucevic. Agreed. I think that would have been a great move for them. I didn't really understand what they did. I mean, I feel like defensively they suck and they needed to get better and they didn't. And
then Danny Ainge came on a media day this morning and was kind of saying the same exact thing you did. Like, they're not good defensively. Well, why didn't you make any moves?
Yeah, right. Same with Miami. Like, they're not good offensively. And what did they do? They get a Victor Oladipo who, good player, but he doesn't really play that much. He's always hurt.
They
I
kind of
don't
got him
know.
for free, I feel like, though, at
Someone
least.
said to me yesterday that, in like a way of like, oh yeah, well they should make you GM. And I said, yeah, they should. I feel like I would do well as a GM. I mean, a lot of fans would. I feel like fans know way more half the time than these guys do. Why
Yeah, the
didn't Boston
GMs.
go out and get Vucevic or somebody that, that can help in the middle? They just don't believe, I guess. I guess they don't think Joel Embiid is a problem or like Giannis or like are they watching the same like games we are? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, like Wham said, Vucevic was the perfect fit. I was kind of hoping, or not hoping, but I thought that was where they would go. And it's interesting to see that they only picked up Fournier.
Right. Who's not a big that weird.
Who's like another guy that they already have who likes to he can create off the dribble and shoot. It's kind of the same thing they already have over there.
Yeah, by the way, Evan Fournier, every time he goes somewhere, he's always got to explain who he is when he goes there. Like, why does he do that? Like, we know who you are. Like, just play. Like, he's like tweeting out who he is to like Boston fans. Like, I mean,
I didn't catch that. I missed that.
Yeah, I saw somebody retweeted that yesterday. It's like, yeah, we don't need to you don't have to sell us every time you do something. Like, no one really does know who you are, and I find it wild that you make $90 million. Like he has a $90 million contract, which is crazy. Just goes to show you that the NBA pays anything. But, let's speak about the Boston Celtics. They got the Milwaukee Bucks again. This matchup. By the way, the other night the Celtics ended up covering. Did you see that? They were getting blown out and they ended up coming back. That was a wild cover if you had the Celts. They're 6-point dogs tonight. Totals 233 in Milwaukee. Obviously, we talked the other night, and we'll continue to talk about it. Milwaukee is rolling right now. They've won 8 in a row straight up. Both teams have been good to the over. We all know how good Milwaukee is offensively. We know how poor Boston is this year defensively. Look, I just don't really have any interest in the Beantown on the road. 8-16 against the spread. Just not good. They continue to have issues on that defensive end. And this is a tough matchup because they can't slow down Milwaukee. I love Drew Holiday. I like what he's done this year for them. Really kind of has stabilized the guard position. I also will throw out, I almost want to just lean over here. Milwaukee's been rolling to the over as well. 6-1 over the last 7 to the over. I'm kind of leaning towards an over here. I'm kind of leaning towards Milwaukee. But I have trouble backing some of these back-to-backs against the same teams. What do you like here?
Yeah, I hate the back-to-backs. But in general, I think Milwaukee's only 25% against the spread when -8 or less. And so I'm not running to the window to back them. Like you said, they've been winning games, but they haven't been covering. They're 3-6 against the spread their last 9 games. So I probably would lean Boston again. And what you said about the back-to-backs, I tend to think this game will be a flip-flop from where the total was last time. I think they scored 240 or so. I think we'll get a lower scoring game this time. Even though in the near future, I think Boston's going to be an over team, I think it may be a little bit lower scoring today.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's not a game I'll be betting on. It's obviously kind of one of those matchups. I think it's probably on ESPN. You're going to want to watch it. But all in all with the game, Boston's tough to trust on the road. They just aren't very good. 8-16, not good. One of the worst road records in the league. Phoenix playing Toronto here. Phoenix, obviously we know how good they are. They're the best ATS team in the league. 29-14 against the number. Currently 4.5-point favorites here. Total is 224. Toronto, obviously lose Norman Powell. He moves on. We forgot about that one. Norman Powell moves on. He had been playing well for them. They get Kyle Lowry back, who I guess wants to be there ultimately. I don't really know how to approach him. He wants to be there, right, I guess?
At least for the rest of the season. I don't think he's going to let up. He always plays hard.
Yeah, you got to put 1 foot forward, I guess. But they've lost 9 of 10. The only win recently was the other night against the Denver Nuggets, which, Ski, I think we've kind of talked about. You got to kind of see those spots and just kind of say, okay, I mean, 90% of the bets are on the Nuggets, and the number's either staying where it is or moving down. I've told you about this time and time again. That's kind of how I think, for me, I bet the NBA. That's just, I think, one of the real things you have to look at.
Even in the way it opened up, it was just skeptical. Like, why? Right. I think they were even +1 the night before. Like, the Nuggets have been playing way better, and Raptors hadn't won a game in like almost 10 games. Why would the line be that way?
Right. And here you have kind of a similar spot. I mean, the Suns are only 4.5-point favorites here. We know how good the Suns are against the number. We know how poor Toronto's been, but the trade deadline's passed now. This is the team that they have. They still have talent. I mean, I know neither of us are huge Siakam fans, but Siakam can obviously still give you something. We know Kyle Lowry plays hard. And you look at the other night, the offense kind of found itself a little bit. Anunoby played well. Van Fleet played well as normal. Guys like Paul Watson came off and played well. But you got to wonder, what do they look like now without Norman Powell? He had high score the other night, 27. Tough game. We know how good Phoenix is. We know how good defensively they are. I think both teams want to lean on playing a little bit more slow. I'm kind of looking surprisingly towards Toronto again. I think this line's, is it the same as the other night? No, but I think a lot of people are going to say, wow, Suns are only 4.5-point favorites. I saw Norman Powell get traded yesterday. I'm on the Suns. What do you think here?
Well, I tend to agree with you, but just looking at Phoenix, they're 8-6 as a road favorite. And I talk about them, I say when they win, they cover. When they don't cover, they lose.
Right.
I tend to always think I want to bet Phoenix at home anyway, so I'm not really interested in them. In Toronto, off the way they played the last game, they're still good enough, and the trade deadline is over. Maybe everybody has their head together. I would be looking towards Toronto on the money line. I wouldn't even take the points because Phoenix has proven, like, if they're going to win, they're going to win by margin. And if they're not, they're just going to lose. And I can see Toronto maybe having a spark after that last game and keeping Kyle Lowry.
As we're talking, this number's ticked up to 5. So there you go, Ski. We're getting the best number at 5. Ski, I agree. I think they probably, as you said, you kind of correlate it to if the Suns win. I hear what you're saying. I lean on Toronto as well. I'm going to rock with that. 5 is a pretty solid price here, frankly.
What is that, like +180 maybe? Plus for a money line?
Plus 184.
Yeah. That's what I'm interested in right there.
Very good price there. And again, they've lost 9 of 10. Lost Norman Powell. I'm on the 5 as well. T-Wolves and Houston. I'm just going to come out and say it's key. I have zero interest. 2 of the worst teams in the league. Do you just kind of say, F it, Rockets are truly bad? And the Timberwolves at least have Towns and some talent there. What do you think here?
Yeah, this game, really, I don't want to back either team if I have to be honest.
Just skip it.
But I'll look at the total then, I guess. I really don't trust Houston's offense. I know they got Christian Wood back. We'll see how they start to do in the near future. And I don't trust the Timberwolves defense. I'm just going to go by the number I made for the game. The number I made for the game was 223. So for that reason, I think it's at 226 or 225.5. I'll just lean on the under. I think Houston plays. Their pace is slowing. And we'll see if they can slow Minnesota down. I don't love it. I think neither team shoots great from the 3, though. So maybe get a lot of bricks and can stay under the total. This is the game that I'm probably not going to bet out of all of them.
Yeah, I just had pass. I mean, I'm not betting on these teams. I don't have any interest. I don't think betting on bad teams is a bad way to go, but I want a bad team. Like the game we just talked about with Toronto and the Suns. There's decided edges where people overrate how good a team is and how bad a team is generally. Also, keep in mind with the Norman Powell move, you got back Gary Trent, who is a pretty decent player. I mean, that's a pretty good move. I mean, ultimately, losing Powell hurts, but Gary Trent's a good player. Rodney Hood can give you 20 minutes. So, I don't, you're going to get something good back. So it's not like you got nothing. So, Toronto's worth a look. T-Wolves, Houston, though, we're passing. Next game, we probably have a different opinion on, but I'm going to, hear me out here. Portland laying 11.5 at Orlando. Total is 219. Let's rediscuss this. Fournier is gone. Aaron Gordon's gone. Nikola Vucevic is gone. Al-Farouq Aminu is gone. A lot of players gone from the Orlando Magic. They're in rebuild mode. Let's look at their current roster. Cole Anthony, Dwayne Bacon, Mo Bamba, Kem Birch. They get Wendell Carter, MCW, James Ennis, Markelle Fultz, RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, Kareem Mane, Chuma Okeke, Otto Porter Jr., Chase and Randall, Terrence Ross. Not ideal, right? But, Ski, look at the Blazers, man. They don't win by double digits ever. Every game's close.
I hear you.
You know the last time they won by double digits? I'll tell you. March 1st. They don't win by double digits. Every game is 125, 121.
Does Orlando – how much do they usually lose by, though?
Well –
and then you take away the players? I don't know, big man.
Well, okay, but double digits is a lot in the NBA.
It is,
listen,
especially for a road team.
About the NBA. Here's what I'll say about any pick you give out on here. Okay, I'm just telling you what I would do. Whatever you want. If you want to bet the Blazers, you go ahead. But again, they're not a team that generally win. They don't defend. These are NBA players at the end of the day, and they didn't get back nobody. Wendell Carter, they're getting some guys back here. Otto Porter. They're decent NBA players. Still have Terrence Ross. I'm trying to sell myself on a bad roster. I admit. But again, I don't have any interest in laying 11.5 points with the Blazers. They don't defend. So I'll take my chance that it's not 107-90.
I'm going to pull this up really quick because I feel like teams this season I'll probably pull it up when we talk about the next game. But teams this season, I feel like when they're double-digit spreads, they've been covering. So we'll see what the numbers say in a second.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'll just the last couple of games, they beat the Magic, the Magic beat the Suns. They lost by 11 to the Nuggets, lost by 16 to the Celtics, beat the Nets. So look at that. So in the last 4 games, they've lost 2 games by double digits, but they've beaten the Nets and the Suns. So they have the ability to, do things, but they also have the ability to lose. Look, they're either going to lose by 20 or win the game. That's my thought here, probably. Let's hope that it's –
So I pulled it up, and I did it really quick. It might be a couple doubles in here, but even so, if there's doubles in here. So teams laying 10 points or more this season, they're 42-17 against the spread.
Teams playing double digits. Yeah, I hear you. Listen, it's not going to be an opinion that most are going to have. I'm fading the public here. I'm going against them. I don't believe in them. I don't think the Blazers are good enough defensively. I think this is like a 120 to 111 type of game or something.
With that, I agree with you. And if I'm going to play this game, I look towards the total because, like you said,
do you just play the over? That's a good point.
They're not going to play any defense, and I don't see anybody on the Orlando roster who's going to stop anybody either. So, over 6-3 on a second of a back-to-back for Portland, I will be leaning towards an over here.
Right, because, and again, that's kind of a good correlation here. The Blazers score a ton. Okay, Magic probably aren't going to stop them, and for Orlando to cover this game, they're going to have to score as well, and it's just going to be downhill. Portland don't play any defense. Look, 219 is a little low, frankly. Again, every game Portland plays in is like 124, 118.
Yeah, number I made for this game was 223.5.
There you go. So you got 3-4 points here. Either way, I like the Magic and I like the over.
We agree on the over at least.
What did we say the other night? There's no way the Raptors win. A lot of people said they roll.
Hey, I didn't take the Nuggets.
A lot of people are going to say, how the hell are the Magic winning with 3 minutes to go? Look at that roster.
Are you still saying you're going to take a money line?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're hanging.
All right. We'll see. They've been playing all right, but like I said, a lot of the players are gone. We'll see if they can keep up tonight.
Next one, Heat on the road at the Charlotte Hornets. Something's going on here. When I was looking over this game, the number was 3. It's down to 1.5. What's going on in this game? What are you seeing anything on this game? Because is someone out? We talked about it the other night, though. Charlotte much slower with LaMelo Ball out. Their tempo has been kind of severely cut. We already know Miami plays slow. They don't defend, they defend and don't really score a whole lot. They've struggled offensively this year. Tyler Hero's had an issue. I think a lot of people have wondered what's happened to Tyler Hero.
It's just a lot of game time decisions. I don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to play. He didn't play yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's all I really see.
Could be a pass, I feel like, just because we don't know who we're going to have.
The line is 3, and Miami was the favorite?
Yes, I saw Heat -3, yes.
Okay, now I see it now. It's down to 2, even 1.5. Wow. Did the total move at all? No.
I think that's an indication that Jimmy Butler's not going to play in this game. Clearly.
Yeah. Well, the total, it opened 216.5 and went up to 217.5.
Right. Jimmy Butler. I look, under any time the Heat play, I think Charlotte's been severely undercut from a tempo standpoint with no ball.
Yeah, I tend to think, I've been saying already, without LaMelo, I want to continue to play unders. So that's the way I initially lean. 2 bottom 10 teams in pace. It's the defense that bothers me. Neither team's been playing great defense, but I do think it's going to be a slower type game. So I do lean under.
Yeah. At 217.5, I'm kind of agreement here. But this is a tough game to call without Jimmy Butler. We know how important he is to the Miami unit, especially this year. And we know how Charlotte, how are they going to kind of be now that LaMelo is good and he's gone? So this is kind of, I think, overall a pass for me. Next one. Dallas hosting the Indiana Pacers. Dallas 4.5 total, 228.5. Dallas made a move yesterday. Went out and got Jimmy Butler. I think it was not Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick. Get Jimmy Butler on the mind. JJ Redick, buyout candidate, I believe. They love grabbing players that don't defend in Dallas. That's their ML. But he does help the shooting percentages. They have not shot the ball well this year. I think they're kind of like middle of the pack to below the pack. I think 16th or 17th from 3-point standpoints. He obviously helps that. Pacers have been a great over team this year, 26-16 to the over. Karis LeVert has been electric for them. Any thoughts here on this one? Mavs 4.5, total 227.
This game, out of all the games, I didn't really have that strong of an opinion. I do think Dallas earlier in the year, they were really struggling shooting. But since then, they kind of picked it up a little bit. So their numbers have been getting better. And you already mentioned Indiana, since they've gotten LeVert. You see them continue to score a little bit more. It's tough to me. I think I don't want to have a play on this game. This is going to be the one I do pass.
This is a tough card, man. It really is. There's some good ones here, but games like this, it's like you either have an opinion or you don't, and I don't have much here either. Luka's coming off a poor game, but we know that doesn't usually do you just go back to the Luka? I feel like that's what do you just go back to that again? Luka over points?
No, I'm not looking at points. If I was looking at a prop in this game, it would probably be rebounding. That's the one thing Dallas has been doing really well lately, and Indiana has not been doing well. So, not quite sure exactly who I would look at. I think Luka rebounds may be a good look, or maybe Porzingis. I think Porzingis rebounds were hanging around 8-ish. So I might look towards one of those guys for a rebounding prop, maybe.
I'll lean back to the well with Luka over 29.5. I'll just bank on the fact that he'll score 30.
I hear you. It's close to his average, right?
But I will say, props, maybe one of the reasons I don't bet props is because I don't ever hit them. Insanity is just doing the same thing twice with the same expected result. So Wham says he likes Dallas here. I like Wham, and I trust Wham. I still remember Wham. Remember we won that poker tournament at out at Vegas. Remember that?
Yep.
Wham
is my boy.
Yeah, that's a good dude. He's an LA guy like you, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Jeremy DeLeon says, good morning. Took what you guys said on yesterday's show and hit a 6-leg parlay. Thank you for being awesome. Well, good. I guess you didn't include the Knicks first half in that one, Jeremy.
Everything else, right?
Yeah, I think everything else hit, though. Kings keep rolling, and Sixers under came in, and it was pretty decent. You know, it's funny. I don't know if the trolls will mention that one, though. They only mention the losers. You ever notice that?
Yeah, no. It's whatever, though.
Thanks for watching.
What CJ McCollum said, like, it don't matter what other people think, as long as you know what you're doing and you putting the work in, and it's all good. Yeah, no, that's so true. Just quickly, I want to get your point, because you're always pretty even keeled, Ski. You kind of always are, with what you're doing. But like the troll thing is interesting to me still, because to this day, I just don't understand, like, even wherever you are in life, like even like the most famous people in the world have trolls, right? I feel like if you're like doing something like trolling someone, haven't we got to the point where, like, does anyone ever care what trolls think? Like, if you see a bad review on a restaurant, but every other review's good, do you say, like, well, I'm not going to eat there because of that one bad review? It's like, who really cares? Like, yeah, I hear you on that. The one thing I will say, it doesn't get you, like, it's not like it doesn't ever affect anyone's opinion on you. There's like a couple people that might see it and laugh or whatever, but it's like, what are you ultimately getting out of it? No, that's the one thing I will say, though. I do enjoy like a good troll job if it's funny and like, sure, yeah. But like just trolling or just like being annoying is. Like, I would say this again. There are a couple guys on Twitter that literally their entire life, they know more about me than I know about me. It's incredible. I wish they would put it more into someone important than me. Like, I'm sad for them, right? Because, like, go out and do something with that info that you're getting. Like, put more into it. But maybe they will. As Cardi B says, she said this before. These guys troll so they can talk crap about it, but it benefits me. Everything you do, everything, watching the streams and stuff, they're all here watching. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for watching. It's all benefiting us. I mean, it is, isn't it? I mean, they're views. We'll take views. Michael Irvelina, one other comment here. Michael Irvelina, big man, haven't seen you in forever. Just stumbled upon this channel. You look great, brother. Lost a lot of weight. Keep it up. Just subscribe. Great to see you. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. That's very nice of you. Thanks for jumping in. I love how you spelled Wade as well. Love how you spelled Wade. Thanks, bro. You're the best. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for subscribing. And that brings us to our next point. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our goal when we came to Pickswise, Donnie and I, bringing guys like Ski on, grow the subscriber base, grow the channel, get more eyes on it. Hopefully people stumble upon it as Michael did. Ski, let's keep moving here. We've got a couple more games to talk about here in the association on a Friday. Memphis, they're headed on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. Jazz 9.5-point favorites, total 228. How about this move down, Ski? This was 10, it's now 9.5. Couple things on this game. Obviously, the Jazz love the bomb away from three this year. Have had no issues making those shots. This is a Memphis team, Ski, as you know, a little vulnerable on the three-point line. Not a great three-point defense. I think bottom 5 in the league defending the three. That's got to be a little concerning here if you're a Memphis backer or a Memphis fan. And I've also seen some crazy numbers as far as the Jazz. We know how good they are against the spread, but over the last couple of seasons, Ski, are incredibly good as 7-point or higher favorites, as far as basically double-digit favorites. Very good in that kind of realm of a number. At 9.5 here, I continue to try to want to fade the Jazz, but it's like they're like that one team that just they don't seem to ever have any issue. I think Memphis has been playing good lately, and the Jazz, they haven't been covering numbers. They've been winning some of these games. I think, usually I want to back Memphis right now, but in this game, I just don't think the matchup is that great, because Memphis is a team that they thrive in the paint. They thrive off their defense and creating turnovers and getting out in transition. And I just don't think that they're going to have success in the paint with Rudy Gobert down there.
Right.
Like, Utah tries to funnel everybody to paint on purpose. So I just see Memphis struggling to score. And Utah, they'll probably still have success scoring, but Memphis defense has also been pretty solid. So I like this game to go under. Number I made was 223. If I had to play a side, I would lean towards Utah just because I see Memphis having a harder time scoring.
Good point. Valanciunas probably gonna have a tough go of it, right, against Gobert. That's a great point. I'm leaning towards the Jazz. We know how good they are against the number, and ultimately, I agree with you. I don't think they can defend the Jazz either here. Couple comments here. This is interesting. Gilbert Torres says, "Hey, didn't mean to offend y'all. It was a great day yesterday. All love, but can we talk about the L's?"
No, he said you read that wrong, but we can talk about the L's, right?
But we can talk about the L's, right?
Yeah,
we did. I think we let off the show with the Knicks lost yesterday. Just didn't we do that? Maybe we didn't.
Every show I ever do, like I'm always pretty transparent. Every time I come on,
I mean, there's not really a way not to be. Like we go over every game. I mean, we are just here to break the games down, tell you what we would do, and see how it goes. But yes, we're always willing to talk about wins and losses. Both of us are on camera every day, right, Ski? So it's like, I think
you can't hide.
Right. Right. It's like last night. I went 0-2 in college basketball. It sucked. I had Mississippi State. They won but didn't cover. And I had the under in the West Kentucky game, Ski. 136.5. You know what it landed on?
I had that too. That was one of my losers.
137.
I surprisingly, I mean, in NBA, we had the Knicks first half. And out of all the things we talked about, like everybody saying we had these winners yesterday, I didn't take them. So I'm annoyed that I didn't take them. I took another loser in the Kings under. So
just
I went
with the
0-2
cards
in
the NBA. I took the Kings, they hit. I took the Sixer under, that hit. But again, I was at the book yesterday. I took the Knicks, and I played the first half. I got the ticket on my kitchen counter. Like it sucks, but
Hey, I want to mention though, I did do some more capping after we got off the show, and I played 6 games in college, and I went 4-2. So that was success at least.
Yeah, let's how did we? So last night, by the way, Richmond is wild. That team, I guess, is better without Francis and Golden. I don't know. They covered. That number went way up. Memphis, I think they.
Oh, I want to talk to you about that.
The free throw shooting killed them.
Yes,
and they won, but didn't cover. That's what they do.
I'm mad at myself because I said that and I talked about it because you always bring it up, and I still went and back Memphis full game. So I wanted to ask you, like, in situations like this where, like, you think Memphis is the better team, et cetera, but they can't shoot free throws well, you think it's better to take that team in the first half so they don't have to worry about the late fouling or free throws?
Donnie and I talk about that a lot, all the time. Donnie's a first half guy, and so am I occasionally, because it's the true game. Like the first 20 minutes, there's not going to be that crazy fouling at the end or bench warmers coming in. It's going to be a true game. You're either going to get it or you're not. So yeah, I don't hate that. I got to look at what their numbers are, but I think Memphis is also a team that sometimes, if they're 160, you might just want to bite the bullet and play it, because a lot of time the games are close and they find ways to win, but they don't cover. Colorado State, they got the job done. That was a good one.
I had them.
Just were a little bit better than NC State, and then
they play Memphis next, right?
Yes. I will say though, I got home late last night, and I'm sitting. It's 64-60 in that West Kentucky game. 1:30 to go. Game's close. You're thinking, okay, this game comes down to the last shot, whatever. 13, 14 points in the final minute and a half. What the hell? What is up with that? That big guy steals the ball. That's brutal. It's just brutal. But all right, couple more games. We got 2 more games in the NBA, and then we'll kind of wrap up just with overall thoughts, and then we'll head off out of here into the Friday sunset. We got about 15 minutes to go. Atlanta Hawks at Golden State. Atlanta laying 7, total 222. Another game is moved. This was 6, now 7. We talked about Golden State. You don't love them without Stephen Curry. The offense just isn't a clear path to happening all the time. But I'm starting to get to the point where this seems a little bit of a little too many here. No, like 7. Like the Warriors are still competent. I feel like.
Oh, the line is up to 7 now.
Yeah, FanDuel, you have 7 currently.
Well, I'll say the Hawks have been playing good basketball lately.
Right, but 7's a lot of points.
They did lose the last 2, I think. So I'm not really that comfortable laying 7. You're right about that. Warriors, they also haven't been playing well. They haven't been covering numbers. They're not good on the second of a back-to-back. They're at home. They have that going for them. They play a lot better at home. So I'm not mad at taking the points in this one.
That's my angle. I like them at home. Defensively, I think they're pretty decent, Golden State. And, I'll tell you, like they're young. They have their growing pains, and Draymond can be irritating. But I ultimately like their team. I don't want them on the road, and I don't love them offensively. But I think the Hawks are a little overvalued here. This for 4.5, maybe I'd be a little more interested. 5.
Hawks are not good as a real favorite. They're 4-6-1, so I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly. And the Warriors are obviously, as we said, much better at home. So give me Wiggins, which is crazy to say. Give me Jordan Poole. Give me Wanamaker. They added him as well. So I'm gonna lean on the Warriors here plus the 7.
I like the under.
Yes, that's a good call as well. 222. Hawks a lot better off defensively this year,
and they're playing slow.
Yep. I just think the Hawks are overvalued. Final game: L.A. Lakers, Cleveland Cavaliers. Lakers laying 4, total 210. Lakers obviously off the back-to-back. Do we just kind of say that this is first 100 wins? Is that kind of the goal here?
I'm gonna look away from the side, honestly.
Yeah.
Who's the favorite?
Lakers are the 4-point favorite, which is
it's sad that I have to question this right now.
Well, I mean, there's no AD, there's no LeBron. I mean, it's you got to. I guess you're always going to assume they're the favorite against everybody, but this team sucks without those guys. So
they do, but I still think they got to play a little bit faster if they want to get some easy baskets. Cavs play pretty fast. I think the pace is going to be there for this one to go over. It's just a matter of if the offense is going to be efficient enough. So. The number I made is a little bit higher than or it was 214.5 earlier when I saw, and the number I made for the game was 217.
I mean, Cleveland is just dreadful offensively. I mean, so bad. I mean, the only team worse is Houston. So.
Well, lately, Lakers have been the worst.
Right. I just think this is first to 100 wins, like 99, 96 or something. We've seen some of those games this year in the NBA. But you're right. The pace is the only concerning thing here. And that's, at the end of the day, a lot of the time what hinges on totals, pace. Right. You don't have to be the best offensive teams, but if you get more opportunities to score the basketball, that's more than you can ask for. So, all right, Ski, let's wrap up the NBA part here. I think, an agreement for us, I think Toronto.
Yeah, that was our one right there.
Toronto plus the what is that? +5 here against the Suns. I'm going to lean on Orlando +11.5. I do agree with you on the over as well at 219. I think the over makes a lot of sense there. And then the Warriors +7 late night. I think that's just a couple of too many. Kind of lean on the Jazz as well against the Grizz.
Okay. Well, for me, if I have to make some ones I'm looking at right now, I haven't played anything yet, but I like Toronto on the money line. Like Phoenix, when they don't cover, they just lose outright. So I would take the +180s, whatever it is. And I was looking at the Boston and Milwaukee game to go under just because they're playing the same team again. I think that maybe they'll play a little bit more defense. Only other one, that Portland and Orlando over. That was probably the last one I really was looking at today.
Like it. I like all, we're kind of in agreement as we talked about. Ski, a couple things. I also want to throw it out to the audience. A couple more minutes here. If anybody's got any questions, some early thoughts on the Sweet 16, you're welcome to throw them in. Donnie, Rightside, and I will go over those over the next 2 days, here on the Hoops Betting Hour presented by Pixwise and powered by FanDuel. And I want to tell all of you before we get into just a quick question or two, Make sure you're checking out the Capper contest over at Pickswise. Me, 9 other people, including one of the fans of Pickswise. He was picked to enter in the contest. We all have a shot at $10,000. We're picking games. I'll have 3 games each day. We'll all have 3 games each day. It's pretty simple. Most points at the end of the contest. You get 2 points for a best bet, 1 for the other bets. Most points at the end is the winner. I'm in striking distance. I have a shot. This is a big weekend for me, coming up with 6 selections that we have to make. So make sure you're checking out the Pickswise Capper contest over on the website and follow along.
Hey, Big Ben, really quick before you take the questions,
yeah.
It's just something that was kind of funny to me. For as long as I can remember, I mean, you and Donnie have been doing shows for a good amount of time now, or you've known each other for a while. Like, yeah. I feel like you guys are always on the opposite end of the Sixers spectrum. And I kind of almost feel like Donnie does it on purpose just to like be the opposite.
Donnie doesn't know anything about the NBA. I mean, he pretends to know something about it, but yeah, he does. I mean, that's his MO, and he'll try to argue. Like his arguments are fascinating because he'll say like, I don't want old man Kyle Lowry, but give me old man George Hill. Like even like he still thinks Matt Geiger plays on the Sixers. Ask him probably.
Well, that's funny. I think back to the what was it, Rightside on campus. I just used to hear it all day long, back and forth. So, and I see it on Twitter. And you guys don't at each other.
Put out yesterday was directly at me.
I know,
which is weird because I'm totally not a fanboy. Weirdly enough, like I like the Sixers, but I hate the current landscape of who they are, and I just don't like the players. But yeah, that's him. That was about me for sure. Even though I'm not a fanboy, weirdly enough, and he'll never come on and debate me about it ever. Because notice we're doing NBA shows, and where's Donnie Rightside? He doesn't do the NBA. Remember?
Oh, that's funny.
But Donnie will be back tomorrow in the host chair, as they say. Also, one thing that fascinates me, Ski. So I've been at the book a lot recently. Been at Philly Live, FanDuel Casino, and it fascinates me to watch people bet because they have the kiosks, right? And not a lot of people go up to the window and bet. They'll stand at the kiosk for like hours on end, meticulously picking things. Ski, it's truly a lost art anymore. And I mean this. If you go to the book, you know what I'm talking about. For people to actually bet games straight.
I know.
Right. So like
I tell somebody that, they're like, are you betting straight?
Yeah. Dude, so I'm at the book yesterday, and I walk up to the window and I asked the lady for the Knicks first half, and I think she was newer, right? So the floor guy comes over that's in the back as well and goes, yeah, minus 104. He goes, how much I give him the money. So, and he goes, straight bet, huh? And he just he said that to me, and I was like, yeah, yeah. Because like the guy before me had like $50 in his account, I guess, or put $50 in, and he was just doing $5 like parlays, like just all these different lottery ticket parlays. I think it's just like a lost art, I guess, anymore to just bet games straight. And like you'll tell people like what you're betting, to be like, anything else? Like,
yeah, a lot of people, they just kind of, I don't know, they do it for fun, or they just feel like when I tell them about why I straight bet or whatever, they just say that it's not enough to win the one game. They want to just go for the high score.
No, I've heard that before. At the barbershop, people talk about it also. Like I have this kid I know that he loves parlays. Like that's all he bets. And he always talks about like, bro, I hit this 8-teamer the other day. And I was like, well, yeah, I know, but like how much money have you put into those parlays over the years? It's like the lottery ticket people. They'll come in and win $100. I'm like, yeah, I won 100. Yeah, but I bet 300 to win the 100. It's funny. All right, couple comments here, couple questions. Big man, last I heard you were with Barstool. What happened there? I was with Barstool. A lot happened. Get with me off, Michael. We've talked about Barstool a lot. Get with me off the air. We could talk about that. Couple comments. Still confident about Oral Roberts plus 11? No. In fact, I don't remember ever saying I was confident. Did I ever say that? Maybe I did. I think early in the week I had some thought on Oral Roberts because I thought, you know what? They're getting another big number here. Doesn't seem like the books really respect Oral Roberts. But as I looked more and more to the matchups, I'm looking the other way now. I'll talk about that on tomorrow's show when we get into it. How How do I like the Bruins? Ski, you're a Bruin fan, aren't you?
I am. I haven't watched a lot of Alabama, but they've been playing well lately. I like what I've been seeing from the Bruins. You tell me if Alabama's better.
They are playing well, but it's a tough axe to grind against Alabama. They are very good. They're very downhill. They're very good offensively, and defensively this year has been kind of the main, improvement. They have been much better on that end. It's going to be a tough match for Mick Cronin, but he's got a week to prepare. Johnny Juzang's playing at a really high level. Melvin Batanza says, "Why do you think casinos keep popping up?" Exactly. And the casino that I go to, Philly Live, is literally right in South Philly. And Ski, when I tell you, it is always busy. It is always busy.
I believe you.
Always. There are always people there all the time.
Hey, the book was packed for March Madness, or not packed, but like more than people have been in Vegas like lately, or like the most people I've seen was probably over this March Madness weekend.
People who create casinos are some of the great innovators and architects in America because they truly position things perfectly. We talked about strip clubs and how great a business model it is. Sportsbook at Philly Live, the FanDuel Sportsbook, is directly in the middle with a restaurant. So you sit down, you eat, and you watch games. It's a novel concept, but it's truly a great concept. 2 more comments. Big man, I like Michigan to win and cover. What do you say? Well, I will say this. Do I think Michigan wins? No, I do not. I think this is a tough and bad matchup for Michigan. And we'll kind of lead that into tomorrow's show. We'll talk about that over the weekend. Michael Sampson says, how do I get a job in the industry fresh out of college? Meaning job in the casino business or doing what we're doing here? Well, I will tell you this, Michael. You don't need a lot of education to do this. This is truly, if I can say this correctly, you can be a total idiot and do this. Look at me. I'm a prime example. But no, you have to have the ability, I think, to just talk on camera and do stuff. There are a few people that can do what we're doing. It's tough to get on camera. When that camera turns on, Ski, it's not easy, right? You started out, it was tough, right? Yeah. I started out, it was tough. You got to kind of just get into it. Sit at your computer and just do fake shows and practice. That's what I did. I was doing shows nobody watched. And, now you have a decently controlled audience. So you just got to work at it. As far as how do you get into it, you just do it. I mean, it's not easy though. Ski and I both know that. You gotta sit there and build it up. Ski did really well with building his audience up. Did a great job with that.
I appreciate that. I'll say the main thing that helped me out, honestly, was, it's a lot of work, obviously, but I was just pretty transparent in what I was doing, and people just admired that or liked that about me. Yeah.
You totally are. And the last thing I'll say here on a Friday before we head off into the weekend, I've given a lot of admiration to Ski. I respect Ski a lot. I think what he did is pretty incredible. I remember when I met Ski, like I've said, he was like a lot of you guys, some of you, like even Michael, you mentioned you want to get into the business. Ski, that was you, right?
For sure.
And I remember Ski and I would talk all the time about how to do this, how to do that. What to share, what not to share. You either want to be in the business or you don't. Okay. And I've said before, it is a crazy, weird business. You got to put yourself out there. You got to put your name out there. You got to put your face out there. You got to put your life out there. And you got to deal with a lot of crap at the time. But it also opens up a lot of opportunities for you as well. And Ski, you've learned that. You've got to be willing to put yourself and embed yourself into everything. And it can be negative sometimes, but it's also positive too. So if you're not fully willing to jump in and put your government out there and all that stuff, you can't hide behind accounts. That's not going to get you anywhere. You might. I
remember you told me to put my name on there.
And how did it work out for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You deal with crap, but
I remember you asked me is anything going on? Why you don't have your name?
Yeah. Well, listen, Ski, here's the thing, man. Howard Stern said this many years ago. My fans will always watch me, but the people that hate me watch more than the fans. So you need both groups. So you don't want to be in the middle where you want some people to hate and love, because they both watch. So I don't know how to say get into it. It's tough now, man. I mean, it's I did it way long ago where like it was like no one was doing it, and I just kind of found a niche and whatever. But yeah, Ski is kind of a direct. He's done it really well as well. So I would say talk to Ski. He'll tell you how to do it. I'm a beaten man at this point. I've seen it all. I don't know what else to say.
Hey, I'll say this. The one thing I will say too, like you said, I was kind of just like Michael. Like I remember my coworker telling me, like I work at the post office as my last job.
Yeah.
He told me like you used to always talking about you want to do this, you want to do that, and you finally doing it, et cetera, et cetera. Like it came to just do it. It came to a point in time where like I was working plenty of hours, like 10 to 12 hours a day at the post office, and also capping these games and putting them out for people and et cetera, and being transparent. But then it came to a point where I was getting burnt out doing it all. And it started to reflect and I wasn't doing as well capping. So for like 2 weeks, this is what I did. I honestly went to work whenever the hell I felt like it. And it worked out. Like I saw my improvement in my capping in all areas. Like I was doing really, really well. And at that point, I said, you know what? I'm making more money if I can bet these games and win them than what I would make just sitting at the post office and dealing with all the crap I deal with there. So I just went for it and jumped and bet on myself. So that's what I say.
There you go. And again, in the content business, if you want to do this, I'm going to come out and say it. It might not be a popular opinion, but somebody's mentioned they put their bet slips out there. That doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't at all.
No, like you got to be able to come on and break stuff down, sit there and talk. People love shows. People like content. People don't have the time like Ski and I to sit there every day and cap the games. So if I can throw out something with college or Donnie can throw something out with the NFL or Ski in the NBA, that's what people want. And these companies know that. And that's why we have shows like these. But yeah, this is not easy to do. And putting me out there like the way I do each day and the way Ski does, that's not easy either. Because you truly had to give up, you're, unknown. You want to keep stuff private. Like, everybody knows stuff at the end of the day. And we have to sit here either when we win or lose and deal with it. So it's a fickle business, but you find your niche and you just kind of roll with it. Ski, great stuff. I'm sure we'll talk to you next week or something. Always one of the best. Enjoy talking the NBA with you. Thanks for coming on, my man. I hope you have a good weekend. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah, it's great rocking with you, big man. I appreciate you having me on. As always, I'll always be available whenever. And you guys can follow me on Twitter, @SkiProfit. All of my work is pretty much posted there, so follow me there.
Love it. I'm the big man on campus. He's Ski Profit. As always, make sure you like and subscribe to the show. Make sure you check out the channel. Make sure you check out the website. A lot of new stuff being added. You got stuff with John Rothstein and all those guys. The channel's growing, so make sure you subscribe and join the party here. We will see you again tomorrow, bright and early, 9 a.m. Donnie Rightside will return. Him and I will get into the Saturday Sweet 16 matchups for college hoops and head on into the final, towards the Final Four. Have a great Friday. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Hoops Betting.